Given that the second season ended on a massive cliffhanger, fans are starving for any potential clue about Season 3 of Squid Game. So let's carve every morsel out of the official teaser Netflix just released. One moment from the trailer shows players what appears to be a giant ball machine, twisting the knob to receive either a red ball or a blue ball. Later, players are shown wearing colored vests and patches that seem to match the color of the ball they picked. The machine has a lot of similarity to a gashapon machine, in more ways than one. Gashapon machines originated in Japan. You've probably seen the US equivalent at the checkouts of a supermarket or the lobby of a diner. They function like a gumball machine, except the balls inside contain collectible toys. Collectors tend to spend time and money at these machines trying to find a particular rare toy. In fact, there's actually some controversy surrounding gashapon machines, with some claiming that they're a form of gambling. It's fitting then that the fate of our hero who has struggled with a gambling problem now lies in the hands of a gashapon machine. It seems like the gashapon machines are actually meant to randomly assign characters onto two teams for the upcoming games, much like how the players would choose a number before the Glass Stepping Stones game. For most of the games, the players at least have some kind of choice, whether choosing their teammates or choosing to vote X or O. If randomizing machines are meant to be part of the games, then it's a terrifying prospect for the players. The randomness of the team selections will inevitably lead to some difficult situations. The trailer already makes clear that Young-sik and his mother Goomja will almost certainly be playing on opposite teams. They had their disagreements in Season 2.
Young-sik, don't you dare! Don't do anything stupid, okay?
But this is a whole new level. The teaser shows a look of grim resignation on their faces when they realize that they are holding balls of two different colors. It could mean that only one of them will walk away alive, a prospect they already faced down during the Mingle game. If you pay attention to the balls the characters pick and the colored vests they are wearing, you can guess who will be on which team. The red team will probably include Goomja, Daeho, Minsu, and Gihan. The blue team will likely include Young-sik and Chunju, along with Son-yo and her followers. Perhaps this game will be the equivalent of the Marbles game from Season 1, pitting friends against each other and cutting the number of players in half. If we had to guess which team would win, our money is on the red team. Surely they won't kill off Gihan yet, unless this is the final game in the final episode. And while it sucks that any of these beloved characters could die, it would be undeniably fitting if Young-sik dies in this game, and his mother needs to find the strength to carry on without him. The frontman betrays Gihan during his revolt, even killing one of the other members of the squad. He then comes face to face, or rather mask to face, with Gihan later, killing Sang-woo in front of him.
Did you have fun playing the hero?
It's clear that the frontman has symbolically killed Oh Young-gil, the name he had when he was in the games, and is back to being the frontman full-time. After all, he's in the Season 3 trailer, back to wearing his mask in the control room. But why even wear the mask at this point? The soldiers should know his identity by this point, as they should have been privy to his involvement and would have spared him at any moment. It might be because his identity is still a secret from Gihan and the other players, so perhaps he just wants to stay safe. The trailer also contains a shot of the VIPs finally making an appearance, and the frontman may still want to keep his face hidden from them for security purposes. The final, most likely possibility is that the frontman is a devoted showman who knows that the mask looks super cool on him. If you're going through all the trouble to have a mask like that made, you might as well wear it. At the end of Season 2, Gihan is definitely not in the good graces of the people who run the games. It seems more than apparent that he's in for some severe punishment for leading his other players in the uprising.
Now, witness the consequences of your little game.
The teaser offers a brief glimpse of what looks to be at least one of those consequences. Drawing what looks to be a familiar sight, players organized on either side of the living quarters by an X and an O after voting to stay or leave, there's a quick shot of Gihan, who seemingly didn't participate in the vote. He's been handcuffed to a bed facing the back wall. It looks like leading the rebellion has lost him his voting privileges. Of course, there are plenty of other shots of Gihan up and about, getting his team assignment from the gashapon machine and navigating some kind of labyrinth with a timer on the wall. So it remains to be seen when and for how long he's going to have to endure this particular punishment. The open-ended nature of the finale of Squid Game Season 2 meant that lots of fan theories emerged for Season 3. One of the most popular is that player 246, Park Gong-sok, didn't actually die during Gihan's rebellion. We see a guard shoot him, but it's unclear where precisely he's hit. The assumption is that Kang knew Yul was the guard in question who spared Gyeong-sok's life because she knows he's trying to win enough money to pay for his daughter's blood cancer treatments.
Wait, please don't shoot. I have a sick daughter at home.
The Squid Game Season 3 trailer seemingly confirms that Gong-sok is in fact still alive. There's a very quick shot of a person covered in blood who's getting scanned behind the ear. It's hard to make out the man's face, and we have no idea who's holding the scanner. But it would make sense for this to be Gong-sok and no Yul. It's highly possible she shot him non-fatally and was able to bring him to a more secure location to try to get him off the island and reunite him with his daughter. We know from the beginning of Season 2 that the games track players. Gi-hun removes a tracker behind his ear, which shows that the game makers like to keep tabs on participants. No Yul may help Gong-suk remove the one in his body so that everyone else assumes he's dead, giving him the chance to get out of there. After Gi-hun witnesses the death of his friend in the Season 2 finale, viewers are treated to an extra scene to hint at what's to come in the final season. The Squid Game Season 2 post-credit scene reveals competitors entering an arena that has the same doll from Red Light, Green Light, called Young-hee. But this time she has a friend, a boy doll named Chul-soo. One might have assumed that the trailer would follow up this massive reveal, but the pair are nowhere to be seen. Instead, the remaining players are shown engaging in another type of game that takes place in a maze. It could be tag, hide and seek, or something else entirely. But they're definitely playing in a different location than what was shown in the post-credit scene. It's understandable that the dolls don't appear, considering that the teaser only includes a minute of footage. There's only so much time to build anticipation for Squid Game Season 3, and the motif of players getting red and blue balls from a gashapon machine is ominous on its own. We'll have to wait until Netflix drops another trailer. Maybe that one will feature Young-hee and Chul-soo. One of the most important lines in Squid Game Season 2 comes courtesy of Son Neo, aka Player 44, otherwise known as the Shaman Lady. During Mingle, Gi-hun finds himself in one of the rooms of Son Neo and the pregnant Jun-hee. Son Neo looks at Jun-hee's belly and then turns to Gi-hun to say,
"You've lived longer than you were ever meant to, and now I finally see why."
This line takes on greater meaning considering the final shot of the Season 3 trailer. We see a haunting look of Gi-hun followed by a crying Jun-hee. The screen goes black and we hear a baby crying. This suggests that Jun-hee will give birth at some point during Season 3. But what will become of the baby? Does the newborn child become just another player within these games? It's possible Son Neo's message to Gi-hun hinted at the fact that the real reason he joined the games again was to save this child's life. If push comes to shove, Gi-hun may need to sacrifice himself so that the child can get off the island and receive the prize money. It wouldn't be a Squid Game trailer without rampant symbolism, and it kicks off with Gi-hun being presented as a Christ-like figure. The other players probably assumed Gi-hun died during the rebellion, along with most everyone else who went with him, and he's returned in a coffin only to open his eyes once more. This is like Jesus Christ dying and then being resurrected, and it's oddly appropriate it should happen to Gi-hun. Remember his first interaction with the salesman in Season 1 where he says,
"I don't believe in Jesus."
Yeah, this hits different when you realize that he's become the potential savior to everyone still competing in the games. It's not the only Christ symbolism Gi-hun receives. The trailer also contains a shot of Gi-hun up against a brightly lit silhouette of a knife, with the blade sticking up and the handles jetting out on either side. It certainly looks somewhat cross-like with Gi-hun in the center. And if Gi-hun is Jesus Christ, then it makes sense the frontman who pretended to be his friend during the games would be his Judas, who metaphorically stabs him in the back. You know, going back to the knife imagery. That just leaves a shot of Kang Dae-ho looking cautiously at the coffin brought into the room. He only survives the rebellion because he went back to the main room for ammo and stayed there out of cowardice. He's probably now living with survivor's guilt after abandoning the other players. With Gi-hun as Christ, Dae-ho is probably doubting Thomas, who refused to believe in Christ's resurrection until he could feel Jesus' crucifixion wounds. Going into Season 3, Dae-ho may doubt where he stands with Gi-hun and whether he will be welcome into any alliances following his inaction. Squid Game Season 1 shows the VIPs, rich individuals who wear gold animal masks, showing up about halfway through the games to watch them on the island. Since the games are only about halfway done by the end of Season 2, they have yet to return. However, the Season 3 trailer reveals that they're back with a vengeance, and there are some surprising additions this time around.
I just have to say that I'm a difficult man to please. I hope you won't disappoint me.
In Season 1, the VIP area was a boys' club, hosting exclusively men as they made crass jokes and bet on the action. That's no more, as Season 3 footage reveals that some girl bosses are getting in on the fun of watching people die in horrific ways. One shot shows several VIPs sitting around a table getting food served to them, where there appear to be at least 2 women sitting. Another shot shows several VIPs standing while observing something, and there's a woman wearing red amongst them. Keeping others down in order to further one's own capital knows no gender. Women can do everything men can do, and that includes being mega-rich monsters who derive a sick pleasure in the suffering of others.